We are going to continue with our media availabilities here at Dover International Speedway in advance of Sunday's Apache Warrior 400, presented by Lucas Oil. We are joined by 3 drivers who are dancing around the cutoff line here as we get ready to advance to the round of 12 in the playoffs. We're joined by Ricky Stenhouse Jr., driver of the number 17 Fastenal Ford, who is currently in the final playoff transfer spot for the next round. Austin Dillon, driver of the number 3 AAA Chevrolet, who is in 13th, tied in points with Stenhouse Jr., but is out right now based on the tiebreaker. And Ryan Newman, the number 31 Wastemaster Chevrolet, who is 1 point behind Stenhouse and Dillon in the standings. Gentlemen, I'm just going to go down the line here. We'll start with you, Ricky, and then go to Austin and Ryan. It's going to be quite the race within the race this Sunday. Can you give us an overview of your thoughts, the intensity behind that battle as we get ready to go into the next round?
Yeah, rewatching the race from earlier this year, I thought, all 3 of our cars were really fast. You can add the 1 and the 41 and 5 in there as well. I felt like we all had really fast cars, so it's going to be a battle. I think there is some strategies you can play to maybe get some stage points, but you don't want to give up too much track position here. So it'll be a fine line of what your crew chief wants to do, but it's going to be a heck of a battle for sure.
Austin?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a race within the race, but you got to be smart throughout. Make sure you're there at the end and put yourself in good positions. And looking forward to the challenge. It's a little championship run here for all 3 of us this race. So one of us, I think, are obviously going to get the next round. So we got to make it happen.
And Ryan?
I think they said it perfectly.
All right, great. We'll open up to questions then. Raise your hand. We'll get a mic to you. We'll come up here to Claire in the front. Go to Claire, and then to Kelly, and then to Bob.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Good answer, Ryan. You think about this being the cutoff race and how much is at stake, but you guys all say you race your guts out, which you do every weekend. Anything different and more competitive here than would be anywhere else? I mean, obviously the cutoff is important, but you guys always race hard.
Well, I think, you got to race the track as well here at Dover. It's tough. The car's always on edge to be fast here, and it's easy to make mistakes. So you got to watch other people around you. You got to be able to, get on and off pit road. So there's a lot of things that you got to pay attention to yourself, not just what, Austin and Ryan are doing. Heck, who knows, the 41 can go out and get stage points, and all of us miss stage points, and then before the end of the race, you're talking about him as well. So we just got to go out and do the best we can and, really kind of keep your head down until after that second stage and then kind of see where things shake up and then go for it after that.
We'll go to Kelly and then Bob. Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah, I think, it starts today from practice to qualifying, and having a fast car definitely helps that. So makes the weekend a little easier, takes a little stress off of you going in after you start up front, and you can maybe get some quick stage points to start the race off. So it's key to unload fast, I think.
Ryan?
I couldn't agree with him more.
We'll go to Kelly, Bob, and then Holly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Ricky, Brian Patty had said earlier this week that kind of after Chicago and after New Hampshire, when he looked at the points, he kind of thought that you guys would be further behind just based on especially Chicago, but he then got excited because he realized with the playoff points and everything like that, you guys are still in it. Did you kind of notice the points, and what was your reaction to being, you are still in it, you're right there, but having those playoff points to kind of keep you in contention?
Yeah, after our poor performance at Chicago, I thought we were kind of out of it, and then when I got done, with issues some of the other cars had, we were right there within striking distance, and so, we didn't have a great Loudon, but we managed to gain some points there, and that's what we got to keep doing, is just kind of keep our head down and fight to the end.
We'll go to Bob.
Bob Pockris, ESPN. For Austin and Ryan, obviously what Richard said last week about any potential anthem protests, I'm curious, in light of that, has there been any team meetings at all or any discussion among the team about what the proper protocol is for your team when the national anthem is played?
I think Ryan said it perfect.
I was just gonna say that I drove up. Been doing some deer hunting, and I drove up.
You don't talk
I was going to say that I was doing some deer hunting this week. I drove up to Maryland, and I passed a Greyhound bus, and I didn't see a single employee of RCRs or ECRs on it, so I think everything's fine.
We'll go to Holly.
Holly Kane, NASCAR.com. I just wondered if one of you, a couple of you, all of you could answer how much more difficult it is kind of knowing that where you need to be, because the way the points are in terms of there being stage points distributed, it's a little bit harder to know perhaps where exactly I need to finish, how many points I need to get while you're out there running on the racetrack. How does that kind of complicate your day? Or do you just kind of say, let's wait till the third stage and see where we are there?
For me, just go as hard as you can, and I mean, the points will take care of themselves. They did for the first 28 races or whatever, so you know, you can think about that, but I don't think my sponsors necessarily want me to say, well, that was good enough. They want to stand in victory lane, and you know, for this weekend, we got to thank Waste Masters for jumping on board and sponsoring our race car, and hopefully, at the end of the day, the trash will be taken out and we can recycle.
Any additional questions for our panel? We'll go to Nate and then Mark.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. For all three of you, Jamie McMurray was just in here, and he's been through a lot of cutoff races, and he said the only time he really wants to know like what the point situation, where he wants his team to keep him informed of that, is toward the end of a race if he's down a position or racing a guy who he's had trouble with in the past. Is that how you guys are looking at it? Do you guys not really need updates on where you are in the standings during the course of this race until, say, the closing stage, the last 50 laps or whatever?
I mean, I think it's our job to kind of know that going into the race, really. I mean, you keep up with it in the back of your head, whether you're thinking about it or not, I feel like. And where you end up at the end is most likely where you're going to end up either way, I feel like. So as long as you don't make mistakes and change the outcome of where you should finish.
I think the only good example I can give of that is, you know, what information Luke gave me at Phoenix a few years ago, and the move that I had to make that additional spot. I mean, would I have made that move not knowingly? Absolutely not. So, you know, I think there's a time and a place for that information, and it can benefit you, but it also can ruin your day or somebody else's. I was aware of it on the last restart of where we needed to finish, and not knowing where Jeff was at that point, you know, if he gained or lost a couple spots in that last run. So I knew what our guaranteed spot was, but not until did I know where he was going to finish, or roughly where he was going to finish, where I needed to finish. So that it makes a difference, obviously, but it created a lot of excitement, I guess, and enthusiasm, at least on our part. But it's not where we wanted to finish. So that was my point of my previous answer, was we're there to win.
Mark Schwartz, ESPN, for Ryan and for Austin. Dale Jr. and NASCAR have also said that all Americans have the right to peaceful protests. Whether you agree with him or not, what's your thought about Richard Childress taking away any choice for his employees?
Sorry, I missed the first half. I was talking about racing Ricky. Will you repeat that first part of it?
Well, Dale Jr. and NASCAR, the organization itself, have said that everyone has the right to peaceful protests. However, Richard Childress said if you do protest, you'll be on a Greyhound bus. What do you think of the fact, whether you agree with him or not, that he's taken all the choice out for all of his employees?
Oh, I have no clue, but for me, I stand for the national anthem for those who give us the right to go out and race every weekend. And for me personally, you know, when I go out there, I think it's an honor to stand during the national anthem and have my hand over the heart and stare at the flag. And I enjoy that part of my weekend, so I can give a little bit back to those who have given their lives to allow me to go race. So that's where I stand personally. Can't talk for anyone else.
I have to say that the word protest would be kind of conflicting in my mind. I don't think that there is anything to protest when it comes to why I personally stand for the American flag. I think it's all about liberty and justice for all, and that's the freedoms that we have, and we should all be thankful for that. And if you have the ability to stand, that's the way I was taught to treat that moment, was to stand. If everybody else is taught differently, then it's news to me.
Do you think anyone this weekend from any of the teams would protest during the anthem or during the flag? Do you expect anything like that?
We're not here for that. We're here to race. I mean, we can talk about this stuff all day long, but we're here to race. We're here to try to win a championship for ourselves and for our sponsors and for our fans. And anything else is just getting in the way for us.
I think you should tune in and watch the race. It's going to be a great race Sunday. Find out right then.
Any final questions for our panel? All right, gentlemen, thanks for joining us this morning. Good luck on
Thank you.
Sunday.